Hello，你好，Welcome back，欢迎回来to Wisdom Wednesday with Johnny Tiger on November 20, 2024. And I don't know why I'm sounding a little croaky, like I just smoked a really rough cigar or something. But anyway, maybe this is just sign of getting old. I am getting old. I mean, pretty soon I'll be 43 years old in December. So getting up there in age. Um, so today I'm going to talk to you guys about the unknown history of the panda. Now I'm not going to sit here and give you the whole evolution stuff about panda, how they used to eat meat, and then they switched over to bamboo, and how they ended up being in China only, and stuff like that. Um, all those stuff you can get from animal documentaries. No, I'm going to give you more like a cultural history of panda, myth and legend, the fun stuff that they don't tell you in documentaries. Okay, but first, in Mandarin, in Mandarin, let me turn that volume down a little bit. That's better. In in Mandarin, the word for panda is 熊猫, bear, cat. 熊猫. 熊 means bear, and then 猫 means cat. Funny enough, when I was growing up, there were a lot of people who would call it 猫熊, cat bear, and some people would say 熊猫, bear cat. So when you hear people say 猫熊 or 熊猫, it's basically talking about the same thing. But the proper term, the proper name is 熊猫, bear cat. Okay, so the bear have to come first. Um, which remind me of this time when I was arguing with a friend. Like he was saying, uh, 熊猫, I was saying 猫熊, and we were arguing. And he's no, my dad said it's 猫熊. No, 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 your dad's wrong. My dad said it's 熊猫. And then my friend said, look, it's obvious. It's a panda, or it's a depend. Okay, if it's panda, it's 熊猫. If it depends, then it's 猫熊. I was like, what kind of stupid logic is that? Like, there's no such a word as depend to begin with. And then he said, yeah, well, there's no such a thing as a 猫熊 to begin with either. Yeah, okay, whatever. You can go 熊猫 yourself. Now, there is a Mandarin slang called 抱大腿. 抱大腿 means when someone is ass kissing, if someone is sucking up to you. The 抱 means to hug. 大腿 means thigh, your thigh. 大 means big, 腿 means leg, big leg. It's what Chinese people call your thigh, the part above your knee. So 抱大腿 means to hug someone's thigh. It's like, you get down on your knee and hug their thigh and begging them to help you and stuff like that. So 抱大腿 means to kiss ass, to suck up to somebody. Now some people say, well, I thought we were talking about panda. Why are we talking about 抱大腿? Hugging leg and kissing ass. Well, give me a minute and we'll get there. So there's two legends, two origins of how the whole 抱大腿 say got started, right? The first one is a more commonly accepted version, is um, during the war between Xiangyu and Liu Bang in the beginning of before the beginning of the Han Dynasty. Um, the two forces fought, and Xiangyu, which incidentally was the villain in the first Mulan movie, which like totally weird because that's the wrong timeline. But anyway, I'm not here to criticize Disney and their lack of historical accuracy. Um, but Xiang Yu in that movie is actually the one of the warlords in the beginning of the Han Dynasty. So Xiang Yu lost the war, and his rival warlord Liu Bang put out a bounty and said whoever could bring me Xiang Yu's head will get a lordship in my new kingdom. So when Xiang Yu was surrounded by his enemy forces, he killed himself. He committed suicide. So all the enemy soldiers rushed forward to try to get his head, and obviously only one person can grab the head. So the other people, they're like, well, okay, maybe we couldn't get the head, but maybe we can like at least get some money, some gold and silver, some reward for other body part. So one guy hacked off Shang Yu's leg, and he hugged the leg to his chest and ran back to uh, report and say, "Hey, I got Shang Yu's leg," and he ended up getting, I think I got a baron or duke or something kind of a noble post out of that. He got rewarded for just bringing back Shang Yu's leg. So that's when people started saying, if you uh, achieve your glory, if you achieve your station in life, if you get to your rank by unfair means, like bringing Shang Yu's leg, something like that, then it's called 抱大腿, means you hugged onto someone's leg. That's the only way you got to where you are. Okay? So that's the first origin of the say 抱大腿. The second one is a little bit uh, more grim. Well, that first one was already pretty grim, but the second one, which was mentioned in the story in the book of Mountain and Sea, one of the greatest classic novels and literature in Chinese history, the Book of Mountain and Sea details all the uh, herbs and plants and mythological creatures and their origins in the ancient time. So in the Book of Mountain and Sea, it talked about the war uh, way back, like this, we were going back like 10,000 years between uh, the Huangdi. We talked about Huangdi in our last episode. The Emperor Wang, who was basically the founding person of the Chinese people. So Huangdi and his good friend Yan Di, Emperor Yan, who I believe was the guy who was credited for creating fire. Huang Di and Yan Di, they were the good guys, and they went to war against Ciyou. We mentioned Ciyou in our last episode as well. Basically the big bad in this battle. Ciyou was said to have 8 legs, 3 heads, 6 arms, and his skin was made out of like as hard as metal. And he had 99 brothers, and all of them were monsters and have crazy superhuman abilities. So Zhiyu supposedly is the founder of the Miao people in China. So uh, so basically, Huangdi is the great 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 ancestors of the Han people, and then Zhiyu is the ancestor, the first grand ancestor of the Miao people. I'm not quite sure what happened to Yan Di's uh, descendants. Anyway, so to make it a little bit more streamlined, there was good versus evil. Yan Di and Huang Di, they were the good guys, versus Ciyou and his 99 brothers, they were the bad guys. Uh, The Book of Mountain and Sea wrote that Huang Di was mounted on a flying dragon. When he went into battle, he was mounted on a flying dragon. Yan Di rode into battle on the back of a qilin, the kirin, one of the four holy beasts that we talked about before. That's kind of like a cross between a dragon and a horse and a lion. Zhiyu rode on the back of a 石铁兽. 石铁兽 translate to metal eating beast. So the metal eating beast was a giant panda. Right? It was described as bear-like and black and white, and it's really big and round, and super powerful jaws that could eat things as hard as metal. Okay, so even as far back as Book of Mountain and Sea, they talked about the mythological origin of panda. It was a 石铁兽, a metal-eating beast. In fact, uh, a lot of the older Chinese people, they'll tell you that it's not uncommon to see panda scrounging up scraps of metal and try to eat it. Supposedly because of their diet of bamboo, they lack iron in their body, so they need to eat things that have a lot of iron. So when they uh, smell metal nearby, they're drawn to it and they'll try to eat it. And this is why they were called the metal eating beast. So back to our final battle, our great battle in the beginning of Chinese people. Yan Di and Huang Di, one riding on a dragon, one riding on a qilin, went into battle against Shiyu. Now, two of them against one of him, but Shiyu was fierce and he was like powerful and he was nearly invincible and almost impossible to hurt. Um, so he was okay actually fighting the two of them on his own and riding on his giant panda, the metal eating beast. And of course, you would think, well, dragon and qilin against the giant panda, that should be no contest. Well, this was a really big panda. Okay, like imagine a panda dragon the size of a dragon. Then you think, okay, that can be kind of scary considering how powerful their jaws are. Um, so they fought and fought and for days, and no one was winning. Well, Shiyu was actually getting the upper hand. He was getting the upper hand when suddenly the giant panda bucked him off of his back. So the giant panda threw him off his back, and Zhiyu landed on his ass, and he got up, and he's like, "What the hell? What the hell, you stupid animal!" And he turned and tried to run away, and the giant panda hugged him around his legs, grabbed him around his thighs, 抱大腿, like we were talking about, hugged his leg, and started making a lot of very unhappy sounds. And Shiyu couldn't understand what the hell is wrong with his pet. And why are you hugging my leg? We need to get away. And so it was at this time when the panda is holding onto Shiyu, and Huang Di came over with his mystical sword and hacked off Shiyu's head and ended the conflict. Later, people found out that the giant panda rebelled because they fought for so long, the battle lasted for so long, it was way past the giant panda's dinner time. So that's the reason he threw Shiyu off his back. He said, okay, no more fighting, it's time to eat. And he was holding onto Shiyu and trying to tell him, I'm hungry, I'm so hungry. Yeah, stupid panda. Anyway, that is the second origin of the phrase 抱大腿, leg hugging. Now, did you know that prior to the 19th century, most of the world didn't know that giant pandas still existed? I mean, obviously in China we knew, but because they were there, but the rest of the world didn't know. So it was a French missionary by the name of Armand David, who was uh, sort of passing on the words of God and Christian belief in China in around 1869. He was in the Sichuan province, and David was eating lunch at a local farmer's house, and he saw this pelt hanging on the wall. And he said, "What kind of animal is this?" And the local farmer said, "Oh, yeah, this is a bamboo bear. It's one of our local animals called bamboo bear." And David was intrigued, so he hired himself a trapper. And after a few days, the trapper brought back a baby panda. And David was so impressed that this animal still exists and is living here in China. No one knew. He tried to get it exported back to France, but unfortunately he didn't know how to take care of it. So the panda died before he could get it out of China. So he ended up having it uh, mounted and stuffed, uh, did some taxidermy, and brought the stuffed panda back to France. So the first when the world became aware of the existence of giant panda was due to this French guy Armand David in 1869. Uh, Fast forward to 1936, a fashion designer by the name of Ruth Harkness. Uh, Her husband was a biologist who went to China and tried to get a giant panda into the US, but he died before he succeeded because of some disease. So his wife, Ruth Harkness, went to China in 1936, and after bribing a lot of officials, she put down on her paperwork that the panda was her family pet, a dog was her family dog, and she paid $20 to get it smuggled out of China, and that's when United States got their first giant panda. The first day on exhibition, 40,000 people showed up to see this giant panda. Unfortunately, people in the United States didn't know how to take care of them either, so after only a year, this panda passed away. As it stands today, any giant panda you see in zoos around the world belong to China. They are on loan to different zoos around the world. When you want a giant panda in your zoo, you need to go fill out an application form and stand in the lineup, and Chinese government have to sign off on it, and you will only get the panda for so long, like 10 years, 20 years, whatever, and then you have to give them back. Incidentally, of all the countries that have been trying to apply to borrow giant panda from China, India has had the worst luck, getting rejected every single time. Now, is it that Chinese people resent or prejudice against Indian people? No, honestly, the reason is that India is number one, too hot, number two, too dirty, and number three, they haven't shown Chinese government that they're willing to put in the money and technology to build habitat that's going to keep our giant pandas safe. Giant panda is a national treasure of China, and they're cute and they're pretty cool. They have a really interesting evolutionary and mythological history. And I think that especially if you watch Kung Fu Panda, you will agree that they are pretty damn adorable as well. Um, I think that giant panda is definitely something that Chinese people should hold on to and feel proud of. Um, uh, be doing a really good job of protecting them and uh, making sure that they are preserved as they should be. Thank you for checking out today's episode. I'll be back again tomorrow for Toy Thursday. For now, 谢谢 and 再见。